Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another review. This is another paid request, this time from Mr. Leeman. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos or topics, reactions, reviews, re-reviews, randomness, out of the blueness, wherever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. They give you pretty much anything. This is for an animated film called Batman Gotham by Gaslight, which I had never... Well, that's not true. I have heard of it, I just didn't know much about it. But this is based on a comic book. I never read the source material. And I liked a lot of these Batman animated films. I mean, my favorite is The Dark Knight Returns with Peter Weller that I still need to get on Blu-ray. I keep forgetting it. I have it on my Amazon wish list, but I keep forgetting it. I have the DVD over there, but I want to see how it looks on Blu-ray. But I remember that being my favorite. I do like Batman Under the Red Hood. I do like Batman vs. Dracula. I remember seeing and enjoying. I did not like the Killing Joke. I thought that was lame. Especially the whole weird Batgirl fucking Batman thing. Which I know wasn't in the comic, but they added that for some reason. I don't know why. But this one was interesting. I mean, to be truthful, you could easily not make this a Batman movie. I mean, other than some names of characters and the costume, there's not a whole lot of this that feels like Batman. That's what I mean. Like, this could have been almost anything, and they just kind of loosely put some Batman stuff in there. Like, here's the name of this and here's the name of that. But it still made for, I thought, an interesting and fun, short, little animated movie where, what if there was a Batman voiced by Bruce Greenwood, who was in this submarine horror film called Below. He was Captain Pike in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies. He was in, quite a few other stuff. I, Robot. He voiced Batman in other animated films. He voiced him here. What if there was a Batman in Victorian times? Only it does take place in America. And what if Batman went up against Jack the Ripper? I'm like, wow, okay, Batman going up against Jack the Ripper. That's kind of cool, actually. And Batman, he's an investigator, so he's a little bit of Sherlock Holmes. I think it is R-rated, because it's violent, but it's not like not violent in the case that you get blood and... Well, there is blood, but it's not like gunshots and that kind of thing. But you do get intense moments where the Ripper stabs someone and you hear the screaming and you see the knife coming down, the blood on the knife. I'm like, okay, this ain't your kid's Batman. And the other, like, Jennifer Carpenter voices Catwoman. Anthony Head, he was Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He plays Alfred. There's other names they put in there. Like, there's a dancer named Ivy. The plant lady. Be careful of her, she's poisonous. But she's just a dancer. There's one person in town named Hugo Strange. There's a Gordon. There's these orphans, these little kids, and the little kids are named Dick, Jason, and Tim. As in Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake. There's some pretty good fight scenes in here. Like, this is one of the better ones that shows Batman's choreography in fighting. Like, combos and punches, and I guess being able to do a little bit more with the rating helped. Because, again, this is some... couple nice brutal fights between him and Jack the Ripper. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't know Jack the Ripper was a martial artist. And damn, Batman gets his ass kicked, but he gets a lot of good moments in too. And it's a short film. It's only like an hour and 17 minutes. And it's this Jack the Ripper going around killing people in this form of Gotham. It's a form of Gotham that's old, but there's... It's kind of like Wild Wild West, Will Smith, where it's the old it's the old, but there's technology like a blimp, and like Batman has a little motorcycle that, even though it's old, Victorian era, only again in America, there's still tech that seem above and beyond his timeline. So that melding of the two, which I enjoyed, I thought gave it a different look and dynamic compared to other Batman movies. So it made it feel different. And Batman gets to kick some ass. Like there's one guy he beats up, combo, knee to the face. A little bit of well, I don't want to say. I just a little bit of backstory on Bruce Wayne that he's very friendly with these nuns who helped him out when he was a kid. Him and Selena Kyle. I said Catwoman, but there's technically no Catwoman. It's Selena Kyle, who's another dancer who has a whip. So again, technically there's no Catwoman. It's Selena Kyle, voiced by Jennifer Carpenter. And the film is Batman investigating who the hell this Ripper is. And there's fights in this kind of slaughterhouse with these hanging pigs. There's another fight and a chase into a blimp and then on top of a blimp. And there's some nice plays of direction where like there's a bit on top of the blimp where you see Batman and Jack the Ripper fighting in shadow. And again, there's some pretty decent choreography, which I enjoyed. And the cursing, I was surprised by. I'm not a prude for cursing, look at me. But I was surprised, like, the little kids say, holy shit! Or, like, one cop says, lucky fucker. I'm like, what? Well, I would don't say, what? A cop back in the day say lucky fucker? But it's a Batman going up against Jack the Ripper in this the past, but tech. I'm not gonna look at realism. I just really, why wouldn't anyone curse? Now that I think about it, I just back to the day they wouldn't say it because they weren't allowed, because back in the 1950s, back when they were making those type of films, they weren't allowed to curse like that. Do you imagine a film in 1950 going, motherfucker, lucky fucker? It'd be banned, you'd be arrested. It's just one of the last sentences I would think I would hear in a Batman anime film is someone going, lucky fucker. Okay. It just took me, like, definitely not your kid's Batman, which I appreciate. See, that's what I appreciate with Batman. Some of them suck like The Killing Joke, but some of them like this are pretty fun. And to have that room to grow and expand. DC's able to do a Batman. And a little bit of Superman. Why can't Marvel do that with like Spider-Man animated movies? Or Hulk versus was cool. Hulk versus Wolverine, Hulk versus Thor. But there's not a lot of Marvel animated films other than, I mean, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which went to theaters, but I mean, like, direct-to-video. That's why I wish Nickelodeon, they would never do it, because they don't have the balls. I wish Nickelodeon would do that for Ninja Turtles. Like, Nickelodeon, if you said, you know what, we want to be like DC, and DC has stuff for kids, but you have DC also has stuff for... But they would never do that with Ninja Turtles. That's why... Fuck Nickelodeon. One of 50 reasons I could say, fuck Nickelodeon. I'll say it again. Fuck Nickelodeon. Have the Ninja Turtles hostage. And I'll say here, fuck you, Peter Laird, for selling it to Nickelodeon. You could have kept it. You could have. But no, you sold it. And you sold it to some assholes. So... fuck you, Peter Laird. How about that, too? But anyway, back to this. This is one of those things where, as I'm watching, I'm going, I'm interested in the story, and I'm curious where it's leading up to. And there is a twist that I won't give away, but it does leave a couple questions at the end, which... Does make me ponder a few things. The animation style I didn't mind. At first, I thought sometimes the movement seemed a bit stiff, but as it went on, especially during the fight scenes, I thought it got a bit better. Moved at a good enough pace. Like I said, I like, and that's what I mean. If Batman didn't wear his Batman suit, and you changed a couple of these characters' names, this could easily not be a Batman. And that's what I mean. I'm not sure if Batman. There might be some Batman films that fans that go, well, I don't know if this is really Bat. I mean, maybe they think it was kind of a gimmick. I mean, it's based on a comic book, but maybe that is a bit of a gimmick. Maybe they wouldn't get as much of it out of it compared to other Batman animated movies. But like I said, I like the change of pace. And I like the idea of him going up against Jack the Ripper. The voice cast I thought worked well, especially Bruce Greenwood. I thought Bruce Greenwood does a nice job voicing Batman. He's one of those voices that fits the character well. And Jennifer Carpenter, Anthony Head, when I think of Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm like, yeah, he would make a good Alfred. So I thought it was only time for him to be Alfred. Maybe he's been Alfred in the past. If not, I'm like, well, it's about time, because sooner or later that was going to happen. The orphans, you didn't really need the orphans in there. Dick, Jason, and Tim. They didn't really have a lot to do. I guess there's like one or two things they kind of help in the third act, but... And I mean, if they were there in the comic book, that's why they put it in there. But I'm just saying, within the story, you could easily write them out. Like, Batman could have just saved some other random people at the beginning and show our first inclination of him fighting. But, I mean... Hey, here's Dick, Jason, and Tim. We got them in there. Because they were only in, like, a couple scenes after. But overall, I did like it. I did enjoy it, and didn't mourn the spoilers. Starting now, heavy spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. You find out Jack the Ripper is Gordon. Which... It was one of those where I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I wasn't shocked. It was more like, yeah, by process of elimination, there's not a whole lot of people that it could be. Because there's a point where he talks to Hugo Strange, and Hugo Strange tells him some info. And a guy who passes him is like one of the cops. So I'm like, okay, it's either that guy, but there's not going to really be any emotional punch to it. And then Hugo Strange gets killed, but who else would know Hugo Strange was willing to talk? It had to be someone in that area. And it can't be Selena Kyle. I'm like, well, unless they do something crazy like this. Like, if they said it was Alfred the butler, that would be even more surprising. But by process of elimination, it's like, well, he's like one of maybe 2, maybe 3 people it could be. So at the end, like, okay, yeah. I see. So I wasn't shocked. As like, yeah. Within the realm of the story, yeah, okay. That kind of summation. And like I said, there's some really nice choreography. I like that the backdrop, we set up that Bruce Wayne built this place to welcome Gotham, a new direction for the future, including a Ferris wheel, but then the Ferris wheel is burning, so you have this backdrop of the Ferris wheel burning while Batman and Gordon... Who knew Gordon could fight like this? This is a different Gordon, that's why. But I was talking about, when I said there's questions resolved, again, this is spoilers. There's a point where Bruce Wayne gets framed for murder, and he gets put in jail. At the end of the film, and Is Bruce Wayne still under arrest? Does Batman and Butler and Selina and the girls going off, the orphans going off, and the burning Ferris wheel behind them? But again, is Bruce Wayne under arrest? I guess you just say Selina Kyle will tell the truth, but will they believe Selina Kyle? Because a good chunk of the film is them, oh, people like Selina Kyle, they're nobody, they're nothing, we don't listen to them, they're not us. That's the ongoing motif with a lot of these characters, especially the police. So I don't think they would believe Selina Kyle. So how's Bruce Wayne going to prove that it was Gordon? Gordon dies, burned up. So it never goes to that. Like, how the fuck does Bruce Wayne get his innocence? Is he going to be on the run? Is he going to have to leave the country? Like, it never really goes into that. It seemed like there'd be an epilogue to sum up. And like the orphans, do they take the 3 orphans in? I guess I thought for some reason the 3 kids would get involved with the fight. Because, you know, in Batman stories, the Robin is most part a kid, and I thought these kids would, no, not really. Which is fine, because that way it'd be just mano a mano between Batman and Jack the Ripper, but like I said, the stuff like that at the end, I'm like, well, again, is Bruce Wayne still have the cops after him? Because he broke out of jail, he started a prison fight, but like I said, it was cool to see this motif with Batman. Like I said, made things a bit different, made things a bit off the beaten path, and also I like the fact they didn't truncate the rating. Again, it's not like there's gore or anything, but you know, there's a bit of violence intensity and some nice choreography, so I appreciate that. And again, it's only like an hour and 17 minutes, so it doesn't take too much of your time. And overall, it was fun. I did enjoy it. I thought it was a nice, different type of Batman flick. Gotham by Gaslight. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.